What if the most powerful health drinks ever created aren't sitting in a supplement store? They're sitting in the oldest book ever written. Ancient people didn't have labs or clinical trials. What they had was thousands of years of real observation, and they encoded everything they learned into scripture. These weren't random recipes. These were preparations refined across hundreds of generations until only what actually worked survived. And modern science is now confirming them one by one. 10 drinks straight from scripture. Stay for number 7. A soldier left for dead in the desert. 3 days without food or water. They gave him one specific thing, and the text says his spirit came again. We're going to talk about exactly why that happened. Let's get into it. Number 10. Cumin and warm water. Most people walk past this in the spice aisle without a second thought. But in Matthew 23, Jesus calls out the Pharisees for carefully measuring their cumin down to the last seed. You don't carefully tithe something worthless. Cumin was genuinely precious, used medically for over 4,000 years across the Middle East for digestive support, blood sugar balance, and infection resistance. Modern research backed every single one of those traditional uses. Antimicrobial activity against bacteria and fungi. Supports insulin sensitivity in type 2 diabetes. Studied for digestive enzyme activity. Explains why it's been used for bloating for thousands of years. Less than 1 teaspoon gives you 20% of your daily iron. From a spice most people completely ignore. Make it. Toast a teaspoon of cumin seeds until fragrant. 2 cups hot water, steep 10 minutes, strain. Pinch of salt and lemon transforms it. Drink warm after heavy meals or at first sign of digestive discomfort. Number 9. Ginger and honey brew. Ginger appears in scripture among the gifts Jacob personally sent to Egypt. And here's what's fascinating. Every civilization that encountered ginger, Hebrew, Egyptian, Greek, Persian, Indian, independently reached the exact same conclusions. Digestive distress, pain, inflammation, zero contact with each other, same plant, same problems. That kind of convergence doesn't happen by accident. Research confirms it. Anti-inflammatory effects in clinical studies. Some findings actually compare favorably to common over-the-counter pain options. Studied for nausea in chemotherapy patients, pregnant women, post-surgical recovery, consistently enough to sustain serious scientific interest. Combined with raw honey, these two genuinely make each other more effective. Make it. Grate fresh ginger into 2 cups of water. Simmer 15 minutes, strain, cool slightly, stir in a tablespoon of raw honey. Never into boiling liquid. Heat destroys what makes raw honey worth using. Drink at first sign of illness or daily. Number 8. Barley water. When Jesus multiplied the loaves for 5,000 people, those were barley loaves. Not wheat, barley. The bread of ordinary laborers and soldiers. And those everyday people drinking barley water daily were unknowingly consuming one of the most well-researched grain beverages in modern nutritional science. Barley contains beta-glucan, a soluble fiber so well-researched the FDA actually permits a direct health claim on products containing it. That almost never happens. Slows glucose absorption, reduces LDL cholesterol, feeds beneficial gut bacteria, supports immune function. Key detail most people miss. The fiber dissolves into the cooking water. Even after straining out all the grain, the liquid still carries real benefits. Make it. Simmer 1 cup whole barley in several cups of water for 1 full hour. Strain, add lemon and raw honey. Drink throughout the day. Hospitals once served this to recovering patients routinely because results were genuinely consistent. Number 7. Date and almond milk. 1 Samuel. Egyptian soldier found abandoned. 3 days without food or water, left to die. David's men give him dates. The text says simply, when he had eaten, his spirit came again. That's not poetic language. That's real physical restoration happening fast. The ancient world didn't eat dates alone. They consistently paired them with almonds. Blend those two with milk, and you get something that functions completely differently from either ingredient separately. Armies carried this. Pilgrims crossed deserts with it. Dates deliver immediate energy through natural sugars. Almond milk brings fats, magnesium, and protein that slow that release down, preventing the spike and crash from fast sugars alone. No digestion barrier. Straight into the system. Make it. Blend 6 to 8 dates with 2 cups almond milk. Pinch of cinnamon. 3 ingredients. One of the most complete combinations the ancient world ever figured out. Number 6. Olive leaf tea. The olive tree appears over 500 times in scripture. Its oil anointed kings. But the leaves, almost completely forgotten by the modern world. And that's a shame because researchers are getting genuinely excited about what's inside them. The active compound oleuropein has shown antiviral properties against certain influenza and herpes viruses, interfering with a virus's ability to replicate and enter healthy cells. Also studied for antibacterial and antifungal properties with antioxidant activity comparable to vitamin E in some measurements. Ancient Mediterranean healers didn't reach for olive oil when illness came. They reached for the leaves. Now we're finding out they were right. Make it. 1 teaspoon dried olive leaves in boiled water, steep 15 minutes, strain. 2 to 3 cups daily at onset of illness. Taste is bitter and medicinal. The ancient world understood, if it tastes like medicine, it probably is. Number 5. Dark grape juice. In the ancient world, the grape harvest was a full community celebration. Songs were written about it. The drink it produced, dark, pressed from the whole fruit with skins intact, was treated as sacred. Modern longevity researchers are now finding out exactly why. Dark grape skins contain compounds that became some of the most heavily researched substances in longevity science. Resveratrol has been studied for activating proteins associated with cellular repair. Real effects on arterial health, LDL oxidation, blood pressure, and inflammation markers across multiple trials. The key is the skin. That's where everything is concentrated. Make it. Press fresh dark grapes. Drink same day. Store-bought works. No added sugar, no concentrate. Number 4. Frankincense water. For most of Christian history, frankincense was purely ceremonial. A symbolic resin. Then researchers isolated its active compounds, and everything changed. Boswellic acids from the Boswellia tree, one called AKBA, studied for inhibiting a key enzyme that drives inflammation. Clinical research in inflammatory bowel disease, osteoarthritis, and asthma produced results serious enough to sustain genuine, ongoing peer-reviewed work. This isn't fringe science anymore. Frankincense water, food-grade resin soaked overnight in cold water, has been used in traditional Middle Eastern medicine for centuries. Mild, slightly piney flavor. Far more pleasant than people expect. Make it. Pea-sized piece of food-grade frankincense resin in cold water. 8 hours minimum. Drink on empty stomach in the morning. What the Magi carried wasn't just symbolic. It was carefully chosen medicine. Number 3. Pomegranate juice. Moses specifically named pomegranate among the 7 fruits of the Promised Land. Deliberately chosen, because people already knew what this fruit did and wanted to make sure nobody ever forgot it. Pomegranates contain compounds found in very few other sources in nature. They break down in the gut into substances with serious growing research interest for anti-inflammatory properties. Real effects on blood pressure, LDL oxidation, arterial elasticity, and inflammation markers across multiple trials. Traditional healers used every single part. Juice for cardiovascular support. Seeds for fiber. The dried rind everyone today throws away, steeped into tea for gut health. They knew something we completely forgot. Make it. Press fresh. Drink immediately. Store-bought works. No added sugar, no concentrate. Number 2. Raw honey water. A land flowing with milk and honey. Over 20 times in scripture. That's not poetic filler. That's deliberate emphasis. And ancient people didn't primarily eat honey on bread. They dissolved it in water. The original healing preparation. Raw honey produces hydrogen peroxide enzymatically as it dilutes. Its low pH creates an environment most pathogens can't survive. It contains defensin 1, a protein produced by bees, studied for antimicrobial activity, including against antibiotic-resistant bacteria. That last part is genuinely remarkable. The word is raw. Heat past 40 degrees Celsius, and everything that matters breaks down. Most store-bought honey has been heated during processing. Looks identical, tastes similar, but it's a functionally different product. Look for raw, unfiltered, possibly cloudy or crystallized. That's exactly what you want. Make it. 1 tablespoon raw honey in warm water. Squeeze of lemon. first thing in the morning or at first sign of illness. Archaeologists found 3,000-year-old honey in Egyptian tombs still edible. This drink doesn't expire. Number 1. Hyssop cleansing drink. Purge me with hyssop, and I shall be clean. Psalm 51 verse 7. David wrote those words from the floor after the full weight of what he had done landed on him. Reaching for the most powerful image of cleansing he could find, he didn't reach for water. He reached for hyssop. This plant appears at every single moment of purification throughout Scripture. Leviticus, the first Passover, the crucifixion. Every time without exception. For centuries treated as purely ceremonial. Then researchers analyzed it, and everything made sense. Hyssop contains carvacrol and thymol, the exact compounds in oregano and thyme, among the most studied natural antimicrobials in existence. Broad-spectrum activity against bacteria and fungi. Antiviral properties suggested in multiple studies. And here's what genuinely surprised me. Hyssop contains compounds studied as expectorants, actually helping break up mucus in the bronchial passages, making it easier for the body to clear. Serious research interest for respiratory conditions and post-viral congestion. Make it, don't skip this part, 1 teaspoon dried hyssop in 2 cups cold water. 8 full hours. Cold, not hot. The volatile compounds are heat-sensitive. Cold steeping preserves them. After 8 hours, warm gently, never boil. Raw honey and lemon. 1 cup morning, 1 cup evening for 7 to 10 days during illness or seasonal change. No clinical trials. No labs. Just generations of honest, careful observation. People breathed easier, recovered faster, and they encoded that into the most enduring literature in human history. Science is finally catching up. 10 drinks. Thousands of years of use. Wisdom nearly thrown away in the rush to replace everything ancient with something in a fancy bottle. One thing needs to be said clearly, quality matters. Raw honey in warm water and processed honey in hot water are not the same drink. One is enzymatically alive. The other is sugar water. That distinction runs through everything on this list. The real thing, unheated and close to the source, that's always been where the value lives. If this resonated with you, like and subscribe and drop in the comments what you want covered next. There is so much more where this came from.